Hello everyone! Welcome to my channel. It's Jake here again with yet another helpful video for all of you aspiring nurses who want to come to the United Kingdom. In this vlog, I will be telling you the 10 things you should do whilst you are in the Philippines before you come and fly over to the United Kingdom or for any other country for that matter. Your time is very precious to me, so I'm gonna make it as concise as possible. But before I start, if you have not subscribed yet, I need your help. Please click the subscribe button down below and keep your notifications on so you'll know immediately when my next video has been released. Okay, let's start. Number 1, you need to set up an online banking for your Philippine bank account. I think majority of all banks in the Philippines now have online banking, and that's very handy. Why do you need to do this? Number 1, this will enable you to monitor the transactions in your account even if you're no longer in the Philippines. These days, there are a lot of scammers and thieves, and you need to keep an eye on your bank account. Number 2, you can use this account for your pera padala. So what I personally do is I deposit a big amount every few months or so to my Philippine bank account that has an online banking access. And from there, I can transfer anytime to a member of my family or my friends, whether it's for family support, bayad sa utang, or if you want to buy something for somebody's birthday, you can just transfer through online banking, and you don't have to pay for a transaction fee. So that will save you a lot of time, and that will make things smoother for you in terms of transferring money, whether it's to your family, to your friend, or to another bank to pay for your loans. Number 2 is in connection with number 1, you need to have a SIM card that has a roaming feature, and you need to register this number with your online banking account so that even if you are no longer in the Philippines, you can get the message for your one-time password, which you need to enter so that the transaction can be completed. Or if you know someone who is already in the United Kingdom, someone that you trust very well, you can ask them to buy a SIM card for you, and just before you leave the country, you register that UK number with your bank so that you will only use one SIM card when you are in the United Kingdom. So when I left the Philippines in 2015, we didn't have this one-time password feature yet in the online banking. You only had to register a certain bank account as a third-party account. But these days, banks are more secure, and they now require you to enter one-time password. So you have to make sure that the number registered with your online banking is the one that you are using right now, or the one you're using when you come to the United Kingdom. Otherwise, it will be a problem again, and you have to go through several paperworks and several calls, which will cost you pounds. So might as well set it up properly before you leave the Philippines. Just to give you an example of how handy it is, so during these COVID times in the Philippines, there are a lot of people, who need support, and a lot of people are now doing online selling. So, if you do have the resource, so you try and support them. So it was quite easy. I just messaged them and say, oh, I want to buy your cake. Can you deliver it to this address? And I'll just transfer the payment through your BPI account or your BDO account. And it's very easy. So you just transfer online, do a screenshot, and then you send a screenshot to that person so they know that you've paid him, and that's it. And you're helping out your mga fellow kababayan. Number 3, you need to scan all of your important documents and keep them in either a thumb drive or a portable disk drive that you will bring with you when you come to the United Kingdom. You will be using these scanned copies for your application for certain things in the United Kingdom, especially your IELTS result, your transcript of records, and your diploma, amongst the rest of your other important documents. Number 4, get an insurance. Yes, you heard me right. Get an insurance. As much as working abroad is a very, very big opportunity, it is also a very, very big risk. If there's anything that this year has taught us, it's that anything can happen at any time. So you need to be prepared, especially if you have a family or you have children. As you might have heard, a lot of nurses, not only in UK but in other countries, including Middle East, other parts of Europe and America have died because of the coronavirus. And it is these unforeseen circumstances that you need to be prepared for. You need to get a life insurance. I know a lot of people will say, oh, you're not going to benefit from that. But that's the wrong mentality. That is not for you. That's for your family. If you're leaving your family and you're taking a big risk and anything can happen to you outside of the country, if something does happen to you, what will happen to them? Kahit utangin mo pa yung first 3 months na bayad ng insurance na yan, do it. Don't worry, you're going to be able to repay that and you're going to be able to continue paying that for years because your salary can afford that when you're in the UK. I repeat, this is not for you, it's for your family and for your children. If something does happen, then they will be left with something. Hindi sila mangangapa, hindi sila puro utang para ma-process yung pagbalik mo sa Pinas. For example, mamatay ka. I know it's pretty gloomy, but yeah, that's the reality of it. For me, when I flew here in 2015, I did not have an insurance yet. And thankfully, when I went for a vacation in the Philippines, one of my high school friend's aunt offered me a life insurance. So there are a lot of life insurance offers, from different companies. So you just need to find one that suits your budget and also gives you the right amount of coverage. Number 5, you need to prepare yourself physically. You can't come to the UK in a sickly or poorly state. You need to remember that this is a foreign land. Wala yung nanay mo dito, wala yung tatay mo, wala kang kapamilya. So, kung magkakasakit ka, there'll be no one else to look after you. You have to look after yourself. So make sure, pag pumunta ka dito, you're in good condition. That's the sad thing about being an overseas Filipino worker. So, pag may nagkasakit na pamilya mo sa Pinas, padala ka ng pera, matutulungan sila, mabibigyan ko anong kailangan ng gamot, pakainan ng masarap. Pero pag ikaw yung nagkasakit dito sa abroad, wala kang nanay na matatawag na gagawa ng sopas or magbibigay sa'yo ng Royal True Orange na may fresh egg on top. So, ikaw lang. So, you need to keep that in mind. You need to keep yourself healthy. Number 6, you need to prepare yourself emotionally. So, if you still have quarrels with your sister, with your boyfriend, with your girlfriend, sort that out. Don't leave the Philippines if you've got those problems because it's going to affect you mentally. And it's going to make it harder for you to acclimate and to adjust or transition to being a resident here in the United Kingdom. You need to come with a peaceful heart. That's going to help you prepare to adjust to the different culture that you're going to be exposed to here in the UK. Number 7, review your knowledge and your skills in nursing. So if you're coming to the UK straight from your hospital experience, then this will not be a problem. But if you're one of those who's coming here using the new process where you don't need experience or you only need a few months of experience, you need to brush up again on your medication knowledge, your nursing skills, because they have high expectations for Filipino nurses. Syempre, you don't have to be the best, but you have to be updated with your knowledge and skills. Nakakahiya naman na pupunta ka dito tapos pagtatanungin ka, anong medication to para saan? Tapos nga ka lang. Diba? Nakakahiya. We Filipino nurses have the reputation of being very good in terms of skills, knowledge, and compassion and care for the patient. So we need to keep that up. Number 8, you need to prepare your family, especially if you have children. So if may mga bata ka, you need to explain to them properly that you're not leaving them for good. You're just going for work and you'll be coming back. Also, you need to agree with them times when you'll be communicating, whether it's through Skype, through Facebook chat, or through Zoom, or whatever app you're using. Have a sort of contract with them that you'll talk to them. It depends on you, so it can be daily or every other day or every week. So that depends on you and your partner or your husband or your wife. But it's very important that you keep your communication lines open with your children and with your partner. Leaving your family, especially your children, is the hardest thing to do. when you work abroad. So it's very important that you keep those communication lines open and you make it a regular thing. I will tell you from experience na madidepress ka talaga. Lalo na pag winter. Walang araw, tapos ulan ng ulan, and you're all alone in your room. There were days before, in my first 6 months here in the UK, where I woke up crying for some reason. I couldn't remember the dream, but I just remember the feeling of being lonely and feeling helpless and isolated. So that's really something that you need to prevent. So the best solution to prevent this one is to keep your communication lines with your family and your friends open. In older times, it was very difficult to communicate to your family back in the Philippines. But these days, you have all the means to communicate with them. So kung dati may mga bata na hindi nakikilala yung mga parents nila kasi OFW, ngayon wala nang excuse. So there's no reason na malalayo yung loob niya sa'yo, even if you work abroad. It is through these video calls that they will feel your presence, and as they grow, they will know that you are right there, even if physically you're outside the country. You need to set your expectations as well for your family. May ibang family members na inisip, aalis na sa UK si ate or si kuya. So every month, magpapadala na. Makakabili na ako ng ganito, ng cellphone, ng laptop, ng kung ano-ano. You need to set the expectations straight. You have to tell them that you're coming to the United Kingdom to work, obviously, but that doesn't mean that they will get everything that they want. Of course, you have to set aside something for yourself, and you also need to save for anything that could happen, because if anything does happen whilst you're outside the country, your family can't send money to you. It will just be you looking after yourself and paying for things that you need. You also need to instruct them that if this is the certain amount of money that I spend, ito yung allocation. Pwede mong lagyan ng extra, syempre, if you're quite generous. Pwede mong lagyan ng extra para kung may gusto silang bilhin na pagkain or graduation ni kuya, bibigyan mo ng cellphone. That's totally fine. That's your decision. But make sure you set the expectation and you don't spoil them. Number 9, spiritual preparation. So it doesn't matter what your religion is, you also need to prepare spiritually. So if you're Catholic, mag-confess ka and, have Holy Communion or attend the Mass right before you come to the United Kingdom. That way, magaan yung loob mo and you are, very much ready to acclimate to the country. Also, you need this spiritual preparation because, as I've said earlier, you don't know what will happen. So I will share to you, when I came in 2015, 2 weeks after, there was another batch somewhere in London, a batch of nurses. So ang nangyari is, first week pa lang niya dito sa UK, tapos what happened is, tumawid siya sa wrong lane and unfortunately, nasagasaan siya. Na-ITU siya and he had permanent brain damage. So hindi na siya pwedeng mag-work as a nurse. And family pa had to find money. And I'm not quite sure what the final outcome was, whether they withdrew the life support and sent the body back to the Philippines. It wasn't really publicized. But yeah, things like that could happen. And, at least you're spiritually prepared. And as I've said earlier, you need to get the life insurance. Also, I don't know if you've heard of that Filipino nurse who was featured in the GMA Facebook page. He was at the peak of his career, and then COVID came, and he was assigned to a COVID ward. And after that shift, he collapsed at home, and he was found dead. So it's very sad, and it really is a sea of uncertainty when you go abroad. And number 10, you need to practice your English. Now, if you were studying in a private school and you're very good with English, then that's fine. You won't have a problem here. But if you know within yourself that your English is not that good yet, even though you've passed the IELTS, you need to brush up and practice again. Because the one thing that you might not understand from a patient's complaint might cause you errors or might cause the patient to be more ill or to even die because you missed out what he was saying. So it can be as grave as that, or it could be something funny, like when people say things to you, like in a party or in a gathering, and you just keep on nodding. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But actually don't understand. So you don't need to be perfect. Practice lang, watch English movies, English, series on Netflix. Practice and practice lang talaga. And when you come here though, even though you will realize that majority of patients actually are from different countries, and most of them are not even that skilled in speaking English, but in terms of workmates, socializing, gatherings, you need to be able to speak the language well. And that's it. Please stay tuned for my next video where I will tell you what are the things you need to bring on top of the things you thought you should bring when you come to the United Kingdom. If you thought this vlog was helpful, please share it to your friends and other nurses who are about to go abroad. If you like this vlog, please click the like button below and don't forget to subscribe, and I will make more helpful videos for you. And that's it for now, guys. I hope this video was helpful. Stay safe and take care. Bye bye.